crazy.
Even down to things like why were there only 6 episodes this season? Because normally on a Netflix show you get 8. So like little things like that, like who is the person like
I feel like they were
funding all this kind of
trying to test the ground.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I know for them this was a risk. I know Netflix were like, Hello and welcome to Rule of Thirds, a conversation about art, design and culture with your hosts
Burns,
Mike and Jude.
If this is your first time listening, welcome to the family. Be sure to follow us on our Instagram at Rule of Thirds Pod. Don't be shy to say hi.
A question about the arts and the craft. If you didn't know, then it's good that you asked. You tune into the culture. This the rule of thirds. If you want to, you could tune at work, yeah. They tell me, does that frame fit good? Does it feel right? You want to steal a photo for your website, but you want a logo we can design, right? Yeah.
Test. Okay.
1 2 1 2.
Okay, cool. I think we're inside. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. We are Rule of Thirds. My name is Jude.
my name's Burns.
And I am Mike.
And we're here again to talk about some stuff. Yeah.
This introduction.
As in,
Sorry, I'm tired. How's everyone?
I'm good, you know. I'm looking for my water.
It's in the middle.
Yeah, it's really in the middle. How are you, Mike?
So Burns is tired.
Yeah.
Clearly.
I'm alright. Yeah, I'm cool. I've covered my legs today because my legs were dry last week. They weren't even dry. You know what's annoying?
I think no one would have realized that.
No,
So you
I realized
Yeah.
that. You know, I wanted to put a disclaimer at the first like, bit of the video to say, oh, by the way, Michael's audio might be a bit, but also his legs. Sorry for any distress caused, because it caused distress to me. But really and truly, to have hairy legs is actually, it's a...
That's the excuse.
Yeah, no, it is. It is, you know, because I feel like the color kind of offset my leg tone. So it made it look a bit more grey than it actually was. And then the compression of the video kind of...
compression.
that would do it. Kind of messed up with the grade.
That would do
So,
it. Yeah. Well, you could just edit your way through the ashiness.
I should have.
Yeah, you
Colour
really
graded the
should
leg.
have. You know, yeah, change the luma.
Just-
Now it didn't work.
But
Okay.
time, I was just like, to do this within like a 12-hour window would not make sense.
I hear
So
it.
yeah, but it's
I hear
cool. I did, I moisturized my legs and I even added oil, but it is what it is. It looked how it looked.
We believe you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
cool. That's
Thank
all that
you.
We
matters.
stand with you, Michael.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Welcome back, Burns.
Thank you. Had a beautiful time in Lisbon, celebrating my boy, as he's about to get married. So
Beautiful.
yeah, man.
Mm.
I think when this comes out, I should be maybe en route.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Oh,
somewhere up north.
that was cool.
Nice. Yeah, I
That's
didn't realize that. That's
Yeah.
Damn.
soon.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it should be fun, man. But Lisbon's a beautiful city.
It is great.
Like, yeah. I mean, it's funny because coming back to this country was like, it's like I was saying, my boy, you can see there's like a London filter and there's like a Lisbon filter.
That's funny.
Or there's an Accra filter. There's a Lagos
So
filter.
what's the London film?
Great.
Great.
Like I literally entered and like it's just great, bro.
Yeah.
You know when
I see
they're
what
like,
you're
in films that are based in the Middle East, they always put that sepia thing. And
Yeah.
Our own is just
Great.
grayscale.
Yeah. But yeah, like it was amazing, man. I think it's important just to travel, bruv, because
Agree.
I think in the beach, me and my boy were talking about because there was a
Wait, what?
it's so random, innit? Oh, I didn't tell you went to the beach.
No.
Yeah, I went to the beach.
But most of it's like in the beach. I was like, how you
I was at the beach. So.
like in the beach. I was like,
I
whoa.
thought I didn't catch it. I was like, I was
in
sort of
the
like,
beach.
In the
I
beach.
was like, what?
Nah, it made sense to me when I was saying
Okay.
it. But, I was at the beach.
Mm.
And me and my boy were talking about like how like like this could actually be life for us. Why have we decided to
that's
live in the
nice.
UK kind of thing?
Yeah,
'Cause
why?
Let's ask
we've
our
been
parents.
chatting about moving to like LA or whatever. I've always wanted to go there for like at least a year or whatever.
Oh wow, okay.
But not like at the Compton or anything like that. But like
Whoa.
I like how you said that.
what I'm saying,
Bernard?
No, that was
That was spicy. I can't even like that was a bit
that-
spicy.
It It's giving
It's giving
gentrify
conservative.
now, gentrify
giving
tomorrow,
Rishi Sunak.
gentrify forever.
Like it's giving Reform UK, but not that. Whoa. Okay. Well, you're not going to LA anymore. Are you?
No, I didn't
I'll
mean
catch
that.
you there.
I didn't mean that.
You see.
I love Compton. I feel like Rishi right now.
He's even wearing red shoe.
Oh, God. This whole
But-
year, dig-
But look, I live in the ends in this UK. And I'm tired of the ends. I just want to get out.
so you don't want to go to another end.
Yeah,
what you're saying.
basically.
Yeah. Good
No,
take, good take, good take.
I've got love for Compton, but please, I've lived life, man. I want to enjoy again. So, but I'll go to more like the hills, innit?
I see your flavor. I see your flavor. Yeah, I see your flavor.
mm.
Yeah.
I want to jog on Huntington Beach.
Oh.
You know the ones there?
Muscle Beach.
Oh my gosh.
Gonna be doing okay. I hear it.
Whew,
I
how
mean,
did we even get
he's
here,
going
man?
gym, so it makes sense.
Get me. I haven't gone this
So you
week.
don't want to go gym in the ends. You want to go gym.
I can go gym
in
in
the
the ends.
hills.
To be honest, nah, it's too dangerous. Anyway, guys, where are we today? How was your week?
My week was calm. Wait, what happened? Oh, yeah, there was a funeral on the weekend.
Oh.
So that yeah,
Sending
it's a lot
love
of
and prayers.
I appreciate. But yeah, it was a lot of reflection on life. Figuring
Mm.
out. Yeah, it's just like it's the interesting thing about when things like that happen is it always kind of makes you really start to take things a bit more serious. Sometimes it doesn't last that long. You just be like 1 week, 2 weeks, and you be like really focused.
How's your proximity to that person?
Close enough for me to cry?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I didn't cry, but I'm saying like,
Yeah,
if,
it could've-
yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
one of those ones where it was like we're basically family, so it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it was close enough. And then obviously, you see, one thing that gets me is always when I see like women cry. It's always like, especially older women or younger women. It's like when the like kids are crying, that always gets me. Or when like the older women are crying. So it's like seeing his wife cry. That was like it's never a nice thing. You always try to like figure it out. Like you can't. There's nothing you can do. And it's even worse when you have like a camera in your hand.
Oh,
Because it's like
Yeah.
you feel like so
You're
evasive.
intruding on the.
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like, but they've asked for you to do
Yeah.
that. And
And
it's like
also-
you feel so bad about
Also,
doing
you've got to, even though it's difficult, you also got to capture those moments as well, and it's important.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good and bad. More with those who want and celebrate with those who are celebrating.
Exactly
it, so.
that, man.
But yeah, other than that, my week was calm, man. Can't complain.
That's good. Do you believe that constraints can enhance creativity? Do you believe that constraints can enhance creativity? Do you want an example?
Yeah, that'd be good.
feel free.
Okay, let me ask my dear friend.
Are you asking
Give me-
Google or ChatGPT?
ChatGPT.
Damn. We're fried, kids.
Nah, because really and truly, alright, cool. Come on, man. What kind of rubbish is this, bruv? Alright, let me just give an example. Let's say, for example, you've got a brief from a client. They've asked you to think of in fact, you provide me something. What do you want to create for the client?
A logo.
A logo.
That's the one
Perfect.
that a lot of people hate.
Cool.
Damn.
So you get a logo, but the client says to you, it can only be red, yellow, and orange. Yeah? Those are the three constraints. Red, yellow, and orange.
Okay, it's giving sunset.
You can only use a circular shape.
It's still giving sunset.
Go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, those are the constraints, but do you feel like those constraints enhance your creativity or limit your creativity? Given those colors, given that shape, that's what you have to work with.
Right.
But like, yeah.
I feel like my answer is going to be like very like riding like on the fence. Like it could be either or depending on how you look at the task.
Yeah.
I guess because like constraints are good for fine tuning and like focusing on a set thing, so you don't get too distracted by too many options or looking in like loads of different directions. It kind of helps you to just like hone in on a specific area. But if that's within like, for example, these like constraints, if it's not in a thing that you like or you're not really used to, then it might be a bit long because I can't like orange, yellow, and red.
It's not exactly the
Because if they now say, oh yeah, we want it for like, I don't know, a political party. We want to create something with those colors, and
I can create something for that.
Good, but let's say if they like, depending on like what, if you think about like, I know Labour Party uses red, Conservatives use like blue, Green Party is obviously green, Lib Dems I think are orange.
They're orange.
Orange, is it yellow, orange, mustard looking.
They're orangey. Yeah.
So it's like, if you think about that scope and what certain colors are associated with, sometimes it's like, oh, how is that gonna work?
Yes,
but sometimes, you know, could be a good challenge for you to like make something really good. So I think it's a good thing.
Because technically, when I think about it, you can also, it's not necessarily that you're creating a circle logo. You can make a circle logo, but you can have something inside that's a bit more abstract.
Yeah.
So actually, you're not that limited. I feel like it does enhance your creativity because you have to now think of solutions. Sometimes I don't like when I have too much of an open book. You know, when someone, that phrase of, I'm giving you creative freedom, gels me up. Basically, like it doesn't, I feel like it actually constrains me.
Because when
more
I spread my wings, you want to kiss my wings.
Because that's the thing. I'll do the creative freedom thing. I've sent it to you. Nah, actually, I don't. And it's like, but you gave me creative freedom. Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
I mean, there's not really any. It's not really true, the whole creative freedom thing.
No. Why do you think people say that?
Because
I mean,
I feel like they don't know what they want.
Yeah, in relation to the question, even like, does it like restrict or does it constrain you? Or, you know? I think it gives you a better idea of what the client wants. So in some way, it does make you more creative because you get to work within the parameters that the client has set. But sometimes, depending on what the brief is, like for example, if they say, oh, hey, we love your work, could you just set up a brief for yourself and then do this and we give you 10K? Oh, you would hate to have like some like constraint over there because you need to be free in order to like express something that if they've come to you specifically for maybe your style or your approach to things, then that in that particular way, I'd be like, okay, cool, you need to have that because it will make you more creative. But if they're saying like, oh yeah, we have to have this branding in there and this has to be in there and you can't have black people in there and all these kind of, I'm just saying like this, like obviously this is like, you know, make believe, but there's been so many things where they can like segue you into having a particular demographic because maybe it has to meet their target audience, so on and so on.
Sounds like my old church.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Damn.
Wow. I want to add a little. I want to add something.
Shout out Sheffield. Anyways.
Wow. I just want to add something. What about if the constraint was budget?
Which most times it is.
Yeah.
I mean, budgets never stop people from being creative. I'll be very honest with you. I think the only thing is like thinking about the idea and executing the idea are completely different things.
Yeah.
So if you want to like say, okay, this is what I will do, and this is what I can do. Those are always different things. Even like sometimes you'd be like, yo, like you can tell the client, sell the client on the logo or an idea, and then the final result is something that looks trash. Yeah. And they're like, wait, I thought we spoke about something different. Like, no, that's what we spoke about. Like it's a wing on a dog with riding on a sausage. Like, you know, it sounds cool, but maybe the practicality of it might not work. Right. Know? So I don't think the budget is necessarily like, you know, restrictive. What do you think?
I think it can enhance your creativity. For like when you're restricted, I feel like you got to think out the side of the box.
Facts.
So you're always gonna, it's not the best situation. I think it depends on projects as well. Sometimes you need projects that are not constrained because, like for example, if it's like a very professional company or whatever, the constraints actually make it mad boring. Whereas if it's a really creative company and there's constraints, you still can create something really fun. So I think it depends on the client. So yeah.
I agree. Good question.
Nice.
Alright, so basically, while I was on the plane to Lisbon, I was watching it was Vox. They did like a little docu-series. Not docu-series, but like them short episodes.
Yeah.
And the question was, why are streaming platforms at prices rising? Basically, along those lines anyway.
Yeah.
So obviously, Netflix is like the founder of like all these streaming platforms. And which obviously you would assume that they did, but I didn't actually deep that they had to like obviously raise so many funds and get all these like loans and investment.
Right. Yeah.
It's up to like it's billions of money. And essentially the reason why they did that is because they used to have like platform or like shows like Friends or The Office. I think it's The Office that had it on there. But obviously because it's owned by someone else, once they're like, look, time's up, we gotta let go of that. Then it's like, they've got nothing left, so they have to invest all that money into like, their own content. That's why you see things like was Breaking Bad Netflix?
And no, AMC.
But I know
AMC.
House of Cards.
House of Cards
was like a big one.
Mad Men. Am I bugging? Is that
Definitely.
HBO?
Narcos.
Narcos was
yeah.
the one with Billy Piper. Is it? No, not Billy Piper. That's an actress. Piper, the prisoner.
Orange is the New Black.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Black Mirror. That's
They bought
later on. Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of investment they've done into that. Even Stranger Things.
That's a
good one.
They've done a lot of investment into their own stuff. But obviously that I think they're in profit now.
Yeah, now they're
in profit now.
Yeah, tell them wow.
Basically, that took them about 15 years, and now you've got the rise of like Apple TV, Paramount, Prime Video, Hulu, Disney,
Apple TV Plus,
Tubi. But anyway, a lot of them are now in the red. Right. Obviously, they're now trying to like
catch up with,
but basically they're trying to condense what Netflix has done in 15 years into like a period of 5 years, which means that now or recently prices have been going up. Yeah. So now a lot of what traditional models of like streaming platforms would do would be advertising. So like they'll have ad breaks where they'll show you that look.
Prime is very notorious for that.
Yeah. So that's how they make their money. So now a lot of these platforms, to make things cheaper, they've actually gone back to that model. So you've got versions where I think Netflix now
$4.99,
and you have ads, for example.
I have it.
Is it good? Or is it jarring?
Use AdBlock.
Yeah, use an AdBlock.
That's what you.
Like, I was watching like a lot of Supacell and I was like, wow, nothing stopped. And I clocked, oh yeah, my AdBlock's on. Completely forgot. Not that I would. To be fair, it's not illegal, so
no, it's not.
Make do with that what you will.
Yeah. So it's interesting, like seeing, how that's affected us. But obviously, now there's a new talking about these shows that these platforms are creating on Netflix. They've created Supacell, which was created by Rapman. What are your thoughts on it? Obviously, I've not finished it. I know you guys have, but what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, firstly about the whole subscription thing. I think it's kind of sad. Like, I don't want to say I'm an advocate for piracy because I believe that people have to be paid. Like, people who've worked hard,
I agree,
on these shows. But the painful thing is, it's like giving tips at a restaurant and knowing that the tips don't go to the workers. That's the painful thing about paying for subscription. Because a lot of times you realize that, like, the people who actually work, they've already been paid. Yeah. So whatever money they have, that's it. It's done. They don't. A lot of them don't get residual like income from like saying like, oh yeah, you have your creation on here. We get a lot of them don't, and even if they do, it's very, very small.
Yeah, they even said like that's part of the reason why Netflix sometimes would cut certain shows short, or they'd only let them run for like 8 episodes a season, because there's the whole idea that if you get into like 100, like the whole syndication thing, but also the more episodes than we have to pay. So it's like, let's just cut everybody short, get new actors, fresh talent. We don't have to pay them that much, but then when they start like, becoming global stars, it's like, let's start thinking about how we're gonna, cut up the checks. Yeah,
which I think is quite bad. Hence why, again, I think that we're getting to the point with not only film and TV, but also like with music and stuff, that people are slowly starting to be like, hold on a second, this isn't fair. Like, why is there a tech billionaire somewhere has no idea how to run, like, how to put on a camera, has no idea about the film industry, has no idea about the music industry. You're just smart enough to understand how to run a software, and then they're earning all the. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I think
they set the price and the
do you see what I'm saying? And I think it's a bit messed up, because I think with our respective industries, we're in spaces where we get to set and dictate what kind of prices we want to kind of run. But then imagine if someone out of nowhere just came and just said, you know what, from now on logos at this price, because like even what do you call it, Fiverr, for example, which I guess is a bit of a tricky one.
But low-key, they've kind of set the expectation to some people's minds.
In what sense?
Because I've worked with people, or not a lot of people, but I've worked with, I think, 1 or 2 people where they've been like, oh, they charged me this on Fiverr, and it's like, gee, that's Fiverr. That's not my way of working. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's very. I see what you're saying, because it does.
Because people can, in their mind, they know, if I can get this for cheaper somewhere else, then why are you charging more?
I guess it's that convenience thing as well, because at Fiverr, you just go on the platform, you can find a designer who can just cook up something. Yeah. But it's like a similar thing has like happened with like all the streaming platforms, like whether it be music or with like film and TV, because obviously Netflix has set like a standard and has like raised our appetites for like on-demand TV and content.
Yeah.
So like we are constantly watching something or constantly binge watching like this new show and stuff.
Yeah.
So like I know that's part of the reason why they were like, okay, we actually need original content, because outside of licensing, which is hella expensive, how do we like satisfy the needs of this base that we have, especially when they're paying subscribers too. So like I feel like that's why one, price is going up, but also like it now puts pressure on other people who think that, because I don't understand why like corporations like Disney and like Paramount thought that streaming would be like bringing in the big bucks, because it like how else are you getting your money outside of like advertising and stuff, or like brand deals?
I think it's the ecosystem effect that they were trying to emulate.
True.
You know what? I think Disney started really well. I'm not on Disney anymore, but like I think when they acquired Marvel, right?
Yeah,
a long time ago.
Yeah. But like.
And Star Wars as well.
The way they were pushing out this new content, like was it WandaVision?
Yeah, but it's expensive though.
Loki, like, but even that, I started watching Loki. I didn't even finish.
Oh really?
I haven't even watched season 2.
I mean, obviously the hype of it has kind of gone down, but they were definitely capitalizing off the Avengers.
And even
movies.
nostalgia as well, because like to watch all of your favorite Disney TV shows and films on one platform. That's part of the reason why I know a lot of people got it.
Yeah, but once you get to that point, you finish them. What next?
What next? Exactly.
But there was one interesting thing that they said in the video where it was like, there's now like a new way of subscribing. So some people, if like a film enthusiast, you would essentially get all the streaming platforms, but
like a bundle kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, ideally, if there was one, they'll do that. But then now there's this thing where people are just subscribing like periodically or based on when they need it. So like you'd realize that during Christmas time, Disney Plus will go up.
Makes sense.
During maybe summer, Netflix might go up, or do you know what I mean? But there's like, I guess obviously we'll go back to the Supercell conversation, but like, are there like what 2 or 3 platforms are you mainly subscribed to all the time and why?
None at this point.
So you're very much just like, well,
exactly.
Yeah. Like before, it probably would have been Apple TV Plus.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, in terms of like quality of like content, like TV shows and films, like Apple TV Plus for me has been like the best, like high standard.
Yeah. Consistently high
consistent.
Standard. Yeah, I agree.
Something new. Whereas I feel like Netflix is definitely going down the whole, we just need to churn out as much as possible.
No quality control.
It's very similar content.
I think because they know like their reality TV show stuff now is like their like bread and butter.
Yeah.
Like you're the ultimator.
Have you watched The Mall?
Love is Blind.
The what?
The Mall.
No,
but I've seen the thingy. Yeah, because there's that and the traitors as well.
Traitors, yeah.
That's ITV.
So I think they tried to do something similar.
No, is it BBC?
Yeah, I think it's BBC. It's
The
like
Traitors.
BBC and Is it
No,
Paramount?
the Traitors is BBC. Is it?
Yeah.
Wait, is it?
The UK one is BBC, but then the American one
Paramount.
is like Paramount. I think.
Yeah.
Which is weird. But yeah, I would say Apple TV Plus. But even now, I don't really pay for it. ... If I was American, I probably would pay for HBO.
But do you think Americans pay for HBO?
They definitely do.
Yeah,
Americans pay. Yeah.
House of the Dragon. Industry is coming back for season 3. Succession just wrapped, but like the shows have been amazing. So
HBO does have a good track record.
There's always a good
of our bias of like wanting to consume black content though. Or just generally just have
a lot of the content I watch there are like white
stuff. Yeah, facts. Like
I do think for me the subscription thing, like the only thing I think I'm subscribed to right now is Crunchyroll. That's because of anime.
Okay, yeah.
You know, and I think
I thought Crunchyroll was free.
It is, but if you want to, like, I think I subscribed to it because I wanted to watch it with ads.
Well.
Yeah, and the ads are notorious. It's like too many ads. So I was like, let me just subscribe 1 month, and then before I realize you're rolling over. But I think that's the only thing I'm subscribed to.
Can you download stuff like
you're on the go and stuff. Yeah.
Sure.
And even that, like for me, I think a lot of the subscription things, I don't want to say it's a scam, but a lot of times you realize you don't really need to be subscribed.
100%.
Yeah, that's what I'm learning now. Like, I need to cut back on a lot of these subscriptions.
Yeah, because no one ever gets to utilize it to its full potential.
Yeah,
and on the flip side as well, one could say that it's too cheap for what it offers.
Exactly.
Which is also like it's like a very weird dichotomy because it's like it's way too cheap for us to be paying $5.99, $4.99, whatever the price is, to get everything and be able to consume everything. So it's almost like you're being pressured into feeling like you have to consume more because it's like, well, you're paying for it. If you don't watch it, you're wasting your money. And then the more you watch, the more they're like, okay, this person likes more of this. Let's feed. So it's just kind of weird cycle of back to back to back to back. You know,
I think another interesting thing that these streaming companies are doing is actually partnering with like mobile providers. So, for example,
getting the EE.
I use Netflix via EE. If that makes sense, it's part of my package as opposed to paying for Netflix separately.
But would you pay for Netflix if it wasn't?
No,
EE?
I wasn't paying for Netflix.
So that's how they get you.
Yeah. That's the unfortunate thing. But it almost feels cheaper, and it's the illusion that it's cheaper. Not really, to be honest. But like, to be honest, it was free for me. But then I paid for like an upgrade because you know when someone's watching at the same time as you,
two screens,
and it's like they crack down on like the password sharing and whatnot. But
they tried to catch me for that, and I was very confused. I was like, I'm in my house.
Yeah, but if someone else is using it in your house,
because you have like multiple users, but they just have to be in the same house.
Yeah, and they were like, you're not from the same house.
So I was like, location.
Yeah, location. I was like, but I'm in the house.
So someone else is using yours.
No, like nobody. They said I am not in the location that I say I am.
I beg your pardon.
And I was like,
that's bad.
Hello, like I'm here.
Yeah,
you know.
But they're doing that because they want to make more money.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think they're trying to. I don't think it's going to make them more money. If I'm going to be very honest,
it will.
It will because
it will.
The original user's not going to like. Basically, the main user of that account is not going to like unsubscribe. Like, I guess what they're banking on is the fact that user will always be there regardless.
So they're trying to like persuade other people who don't want
who are not paying for it to basically.
Yeah.
I mean, if you pay for it, you're kind of like a simp. Like you just got.
That's funny.
No, because I'm sorry. Like at that point, if you've been like skimping and using someone else's, like at that point, you might as well just be a criminal. Because like you know what I'm saying. Like you get what I'm saying.
That's funny.
But yeah. Anyway, back to the conversation about.
So anyway, Netflix have now obviously produced another of their originals, which is Supacell, written and created by Rapman.
What's his real name?
Oh, we will insert that here.
Okay.
Yeah, it's there. You've seen it. And I think it was directed by Sebastian Till.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who did he direct again?
But the barber I think he did the
Barbershop.
Yeah.
As the therapist, as well as like he's done quite a few other stuff as well.
And
I was his name everywhere.
Who did the slap?
Abdu Cisse.
Yes.
Amazing. Can't like that lenticular print for the therapist. I need it.
That looked really, really
I
good.
need it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
He's done a lot of
But he's been doing stuff for a hot minute, and I feel like he's been directing on other shows. I don't because someone who's a producer, Sheila Naughty or Naughty.
Naughty?
Sorry for getting your name wrong.
Sheila Naughty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's the producer, but I know she worked on like Stay Close.
Okay.
And a few other Netflix.
Wow.
But the credits are long.
No, he done Jimmy Wales Black and Riches.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Those are all my favorite black.
And they all look
good.
That's one thing I will say. I feel like the UK is getting to that point where we have a UK, black UK feel.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm happy about that. That made me very happy. Because
Yeah.
watching, I was like, okay, this looks good.
To be fair, even with...
Who did Rylane?
I don't know.
But that looked really good as well.
You know, they did a great job. But I feel like they're probably in the same circles.
Most likely, but I think it's just like, I think people are understanding how to represent black skin on screen.
Yeah.
Proper,
I mean, black people are getting opportunities to now do it on like a larger
You'd be surprised. A lot of them aren't actually black. There's the DOPs. But I think it's just more so because there are black people involved in the process, it allows them to be like, that looks wrong.
Yeah.
That doesn't look right.
Right.
That person's skin is great.
And
like
another conversation, this is not to do with the cinematography, but me and my missus was talking about like how now the slang isn't like, I'll be honest.
It's not forced. It's not
Top Boy. You know Top Boy, they were using slang from like 10 years ago.
The consultants that they had, I don't...
But
it was written by a white man, so there is that.
For Supacell, it was
you
like...
can tell it's written by
is that today's conversation?
Yeah, you can tell like little nuances, like when Taser like disappeared.
Yeah.
And like someone's like, oh, is that Judge? Like
yeah.
That's what would actually happen in real life.
Someone would actually say that. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
true.
it's not some yo fams like
not sounding like Americans trying to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could tell, like,
Londoners.
especially it was. But again, I think having black people in the process definitely has,
Mm.
like, you could tell, like, this was
Because
it's a
because I was
there
gonna
was
make
some, you know, some
Yeah.
I don't want to say the word, but there was some
yeah.
involved in the you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Yeah.
because I was gonna say, like, respectfully, like, there have been other like black British shows that have come out that I don't know. I feel like this series had a lot of time to cook as well. It didn't
okay, that's
feel
interesting.
Any for rushed.
it didn't feel rushed because I feel like a concept like this, maybe like in the past, it's like the idea could have been great, but the execution
Would have been horrible. Yeah.
And I feel like there was a series that recently came out that I did watch that I felt like it was like half baked. It didn't feel like fully cooked, but then basically talking about Queenie. But
I've not watched it, by the way.
we're
Just
going
kidding.
off on it. I'll bring it back.
Yeah.
But I think with that, like, I think it's amazing to see like
So, is that British?
yeah, Black
Yeah.
British, like focus on the Caribbean family. I think that was amazing because you never really see that with Black British like TV. It's mostly African
Yeah.
and stuff. So I thought that was really
Mostly
great.
Nigerian, to be
Mhm.
specific.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's
But
very true.
this little point. I feel like the people that sometimes do play the mums or the dads don't have really good accents.
Thank God for the grandma in this series.
What, Supercell?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, she
that's
was-
They
authentic, bruv.
as in
Not
Yeah.
some. I hate when I hear like
no.
some dead accent. Like it's not even
Like-
the real thing. Like.
Wait, Michael, before you lose your point, so Queenie.
Sorry, like
Yeah.
I loved like the representation, but I feel like I read the book before I watched the series, but I felt like there were certain aspects or like certain conversations that we didn't really get to fully have with that show. But I'm happy that they got the opportunity to make something like that because we've never had something like that before, and it is pushing things forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Superstar, I felt like there were so many things, and it might sound bad to like compare, but like there were so many different like discussions that were being had within the series that were explored that I really appreciated. So like
Sickle cell.
Yeah, that was a very interesting nuance to have.
Yeah.
But also,
Supercell, sickle cell.
I kind of felt a type of way about it.
Supercell, sickle cell. Think about it.
Okay, cool. No, because you haven't watched all of it, so I'm just like,
Yeah, no, but
you made the link.
of course.
Yeah,
I can't lie.
It's kind of obvious.
I was very slow. It wasn't until
Nah.
the last episode I was like,
I think in the first episode, it
Yeah.
kind of gave it away when they talk about. I was like, okay, it clearly has something to do. With
I was
this.
very slow.
Fair
Like,
enough.
no, but even that, like that whole relationship, I was like,
Mhm.
this is such a beautiful way to kind of explore this topic. And then even on TikTok today, there was an artist I will insert here. He did like a little carousel about his artwork. I think he's British, like Black British as well. And in his like portraits, a lot of the subjects have like yellow eyes, and that's inspired by jaundice because of like sickle cell. So even the yellowing of the eyes for Supercell, I was like, oh, that link is actually really special as well. So there was a lot of things that was really intentional. That
Yeah.
he really like put in it.
That
I
was
really
like well
appreciated.
thought out. Yeah. Like that, I agree. I mean, when I think after episode 2, I kind of felt some type of way about it.
About what?
Like the whole like trying to use sickle cell as this kind of superpower thing. It was just like, okay, I don't know how I feel about this. Just because I think it's such a underrepresented topic in the community, like Black community. A lot of people talk about it, but they kind of like there's a lot of shame associated with it. Like people aren't really very like open about how maybe if they have the trait, if they don't have the trait, if
I
they
feel
have
you.
sickle cell itself. So I feel like it would have been a perfect time to kind of represent. Like I think because like I know people who have it, and it's like when they have a crisis, and like that is like and I think they did a really good job, I guess, of representing how that kind of crisis can look. But also it's just kind of like it's just such an uncomfortable thing, and then just to think, oh, this is like kind of like a superhero thing. So it's just kind of like, ooh, well, it can give you superpowers, so yay. It's kind of like there is a level of like I don't want to say it's downplaying how critical and how dangerous sickle cell can be to a person's body. So it's kind of like saying like, well, they had kids and they were okay.
I think it does. I don't think it's necessarily trying to make it seem like it's a lighthearted thing.
I don't think it's on purpose,
But I think what they did, because I remember there was a scene with the dad. I forgot his name. Who's the strong guy in the
oh
film.
yeah, Andre,
yeah, and his son, and then I think they were talking about sickle cell.
the granddad,
And like testing like his son for like
Yeah, and how
and
like he
stuff,
was like, his son was asking him like, I think he was saying, oh, like
How did he
black
pass
people
away?
have it kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And but not just black people, or actually other races as well, but like it's predominant in the black culture, black people. So it's like, yeah, I think that in itself would raise conversations for people not in the community or people that have no idea about what it is. So I feel like as long as it helps to start some conversation or some research,
even on
I
like
think
a
it does its
global
job.
stage, like if we're deep in it, like is Netflix as well.
Yeah.
And to be fair, part of me is like, I'm surprised they haven't done any activations yet. They
Around it. I
might
mean,
be it might
sickle
be
cell
like,
they did just pass not too long ago.
So
Would
maybe they
been
have. I just haven't seen anything. But like,
True.
I'm just like, there's a lot that they can probably do that in the conversation
to bring awareness to it.
But
Yeah.
I do think there is the aspect of like, same way Black Panther, Wakanda was like this fictional place that gave a lot of people like hope and I guess illustration of what
that is what
if black people
if
Africa,
no one intervened in
this
progress.
is what we could be. And I think with Supercell it's like a similar thing of
Wakandification, someone said. Yeah.
It's a good term though.
But like, just like it's a positive spin on something that's normally looked at in a negative way, or just like with a lot of like upset or anything. I thought it was just like a really cool way to like navigate that. Like we don't, especially Black British culture, we've never really had something like that before. So I thought
that is true. That is
pretty
true.
special.
So I mean, that's a positive. For
yeah,
sure.
yeah. And there were like loads of other like positives. I know certain people felt a way I did initially. If I'm putting my hands up, like. There's the whole gang culture side of things. I was a bit like, initially I was like,
yeah,
okay.
But that's the only critique I can give it.
Oh no,
but
that's not the only critique I can.
But from my okay, regards to the gang side of things, at first initially I was like, oh, again, but I think for me, looking at like Top Boy, and other things that we've had on on platforms like this, they've always kind of had that like thing explored.
Yeah.
But I had to remind myself, like, this is the harsh reality for like a lot of young Londoners too.
You know what is?
I agreed.
I think
not that they're all in gangs, but like they just know
it's someone's story.
Yes,
it's
and
someone's story.
And they're aware of certain things. Like I remember like when I was a youth leader a long time ago.
It's a long time.
Like no,
like it wasn't a few years ago.
No, it was a while ago though. But like I remember the youth at my church at the time would be like, yeah, like something happened to somebody got stabbed, let's say, and yeah, they know on Snapchat and like social media, people are expressing that it's them that have done the thing. And I was like, oh, this is like a completely different side of things that I just was not aware of.
I think it is a reality of London. I think it is. But it is a reality of London where, I'll be honest, growing up, there was a lot. We went to a school which was around in ends where you're surrounded by different gangs. But a lot of people had affiliation.
Right.
Or were linked or just grew up there in the area. They weren't in a gang, but they'll have elders or have somebody that's cool.
Maybe like in it.
And I think sometimes, can we do that part a bit more? Because I think the comparison of gang members compared to actually normal Black Londoners is very low percentage.
I think it's overrepresented.
I agree.
So it almost feels, you know how like sometimes, and it really annoys me, but like, people that are not of our race, they will say these things like, "Oh, you speak like a roadman. You speak like a roadman." Shut up.
Yeah.
Like, what is a roadman?
It could be just someone who's from South or East.
Like
and it's like, oh, well, you sound like a roadman because that's what they've got.
Like, do you even know what a roadman is? Like, but by definition, it's someone that's in a gang.
Yeah, on road.
On road. Yeah. Road, man. Like no one is like banging for the ends all the time. It's a very select few. Yeah, it's a very select few. And then it almost feels like, oh, if you go to London, you see a guy with a hood or just in a certain way, he's in a gang. Yeah. And it's like, obviously, I know the show wasn't trying to do that. Obviously, I get, and what I do appreciate about the show, I won't say that they did that wrong in the sense, because I feel like by adding other characters into the mix,
and there were other stories.
They were still a drug dealer though. Who say that,
brothers? All the people who were associated were all associated to some gang in some way.
Wait,
or were affected.
That was engaged.
Yes.
Yeah, no, to be fair, I was thinking about this in like one of the episodes, and I was like, it just feels like it. Like again,
he got
duality. Yeah. I did appreciate certain parts about it, but at the same time, I was like, damn, it feels like at one point it felt like it was a central story. Or the thing connecting everybody together.
Yeah.
Well, the gang violence.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Like,
It literally was.
That was a central thing that held all of these characters together in some...
Like, the nurse.
Mm.
But to Craig. What do you call it?
I don't know if you've got to.
Look,
Yeah.
I'm on episode 4, man.
I cannot remember what
Basically, Burns.
happened.
Everybody,
everything kind of links back.
everybody's tied to that.
Now that you're saying it, yeah, everyone does link.
Yeah.
Everybody
So
does link.
That's the only reason I was just like, I just wish it wasn't so.
And the thing is, you know what? Funny enough, all of us do link in some way in a mutual aspect, but yeah, it's not always through gang violence.
It's
Yeah,
I expect majority of the time it's
majority of the time
Yeah,
it's not.
Yeah.
I think that again, like you were saying, I think it is overrepresented in Black British shows. In
But
general,
is that
like,
because I think in context, the director and creator of the show,
Hmm.
that might be their experience, and also they've written it.
no, of course.
So
I
actually,
agree.
really and truly,
But
what about
Right-
reality
right on
would
what you
they?
know kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I understand that, but
Mm.
what I'm trying to say is that like there are. He wasn't in a vacuum. There were other people around him who, and I understand because I think we spoke about it earlier about how these are like the remnants of the whole Black Lives Matter.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the activations
Like,
that were made.
all these like new shows that we're seeing with black like led feature like
Yeah.
people like actors or like directors is a result of
The
it's
whole
like the fruit
yeah.
of
So
blackout
I could imagine that at the
future.
time, which even makes it weird because
Mm.
for me it's like if something like Black Lives Matter is happening and this
Mm.
show has been in production for years, why is this the thing that you lead with?
but
Because
then,
it's such a weird thing to like.
So was he even? He wasn't. Taser wasn't even the main character based
But-
on the
yeah.
advertisement.
No, I
Yeah.
agreed. It wasn't
it
him.
was
Yeah.
Michael
But
but
it's
it did at times feel like
It
he
was-
was the.
yeah, the
that
whole
like,
story was kind
central
of
story, to
around
be
that
fair.
Taser character. If you
Mm.
really think about it, so it's like for me, it's just a weird choice of I'm not- like
weird
again,
choice of show to like
yeah, to be the thing,
I
and
get-
it's an amazing show. And for
It's
me,
really
it just
show.
rubs me the wrong way because if I'm not trying to blame Rapman or the people who produced the show because I don't think it's necessarily their fault, but I don't think there's enough diversity for a show like this to be as hyped as it is in the sense that like if there were other shows to balance things out, I wouldn't
yeah.
feel the way I feel
Yeah,
right now.
But it's,
Yeah.
it's because this tends to be the.
Again,
This is the biggest Black British show we've had in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was even gonna say
Mm.
it. That's why I wasn't surprised because it's more to do with the people, the powers that be that give the
Yeah,
opportunities
yeah.
rather than the people that are making the thing.
Because he's
Like,
gonna do what he
yeah,
does. Of
I'm
course,
not gonna
yeah.
like put blame on Rapman. Like again, it's a very good show.
Amazing
But
show.
it's,
One
it's
of
more
our-
about what they're commissioning.
Yeah, it always
Yeah.
comes back to them because at the end of the day, it's the commissioners and the people that make these decisions that set the tone for what you see on TV
Mhm.
and like on a wider scale. Because obviously, one can look at this as like a singular project and be like, "Oh, this is amazing, this is great." But if you look at the wide scope of like, what have we had, Black British people, what have we had on TV and film within the past like couple of years?
Yeah.
How's it been promoted?
Mhm.
How much money has gone into it? Marketing, as well as like how involved are these certain figures, how involved are they in the story, the development of the story, or the things and themes that are expressed, or the type of people that they want?
Yeah.
Because let's be real, Rapman had a lot of success with like
Blue
Shiro's story,
Is it
which
Blue?
led him to doing Blue
Yeah,
Story.
yeah.
So it's like there's that thread there
And
already.
yeah,
So
so
it's-
we shouldn't expect anything because really Shiro story was the same thing. Blue story is the
Yeah,
same
and
thing.
like they
I
serve-
think it's just a refinement.
So
of
yeah.
the-
Rapman has done an amazing job by even going to Supercell because
facts.
if you see Shiro
a
story,
massive
Blue
jump.
story,
Yeah,
it's,
you're
it's a
right.
big
Yeah,
jump.
you're
So
right.
actually,
You're
get
right.
it
There's
him
so
to,
much that because I'll be honest, like when I first like saw Supercell, I was like Rapman. I was like, okay, I don't know if this is gonna be like business as usual or it's gonna be something. So like, respectfully, I mean
That's
this in the most
crazy.
respectful
But yeah, I
way
hear it. I hear
possible.
it.
But just because we've got two of the similar kind of things, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was like, okay, what to see there was so much depth and so many things explored. I was like, this is
Apologies,
amazing.
apologies.
This
No,
is
you're right,
great.
you're right.
But yeah, like because if you look at Netflix, and I can't lie, I'm trying to just keep it going
business
But-
is just crazy.
respectfully, but like
That is crazy.
even down to things like why were there only 6 episodes this season? Because normally on a Netflix show you get
What,
8.
yeah, at least
So
8.
like
Yeah.
little things like that, like who
But
is
you know
the
what?
person like
I feel like
funding
they
all
were
this kind of stuff?
trying to test the ground.
Oh,
Yeah,
I-
100%.
yeah,
This,
yeah,
thi- I know for them this was a risk.
Yeah,
I know Netflix
yeah.
were like,
Yeah.
this is the same way. Like I will never forget like how Kevin Feige said like he was surprised at the success of Black Panther,
Uh-huh.
and the
Uh-huh.
the minute
Oh yeah,
like,
this is
the minute
but how?
the Benjamins were running,
It was
let's
like-
make a second
They were
one.
like,
Let's
make it
go.
Yeah, you're right.
So I feel like I'm so happy it reached number 1. on Netflix,
Mhm.
global as well as for the UK.
Mm.
But like, yeah, a lot of these people, when they're commissioning these things, are like, oh, it's a bit of risk. Even Dreaming Whilst Black. Like, do you know how long it took for us to get the rest of the season? I
Is it out
was
now?
wait. Yeah, it's been
the
out.
rest of the season's been out for
a while.
Since when?
Almost a year.
Yeah.
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 But like
what's that on?
BBC iPlayer.
yeah.
But like, I remember the
Where?
first episode came out. Loads of people were waiting for that, and then even a Johnny was like tweet like, oh, like, you know, keep watching ratings. And same
So
thing
that,
Rapman
yeah,
has
it'll
done
push
as well.
it, yeah.
Like, you know, ratings, all of these things matter. And I don't know the politics, but when I noticed, like, I think he won a BAFTA, and then I saw A24 now got involved with the project, and I was like, is it because A24 got involved with the project that's why the BBC are now like, oh yeah, let's now like finish the season, or if it's just by chance that they just wanted to like do a partnership that would kind of make it wider so that people in the States could see it, because that's what they do with Queen. Like Queenie is Hulu as well as Channel 4 and like other shows as well. But like, I can't lie, when I saw A24 and now we're getting a full season, I was a bit like, is this because the BBC believed in the project, or is this because
It could be
American
both ways.
influence
Because
maybe.
it could be a thing where like A24 has given it enough credibility to be like, you know what, if they believe in it, then there is no reason why we can't take a risk on it. But like, again, I'm not surprised about business, because business is business.
Yeah.
More time they're gonna do what they have to do to make sure that they can hit their bottom line. So me, I'll never like ever feel some type of way. I just feel like there has to be different, more interesting stories. Now to my main qualms of this show. There was too much violence for the women.
The
black
I
women.
actually agree.
Yeah, there was one scene in, I think it was episode 3. Outside the club,
Bro.
that wasn't needed.
And from the beginning of the show,
it is a
Yeah,
reality,
no, I can't like
bro.
that first scene with,
From the beginning of the
with
show.
Auntie.
I was like, huh?
And when I saw the black, I said, oh, okay, this is
Fam,
very...
And
When man just and the what?
yeah, do you know what I found? Like, I was watching it like right to the end, and I think almost every single person who died was a black woman.
So like, even that...
And the black men, most of them didn't die. If like, in terms of like seeing them on screen dead, or the ones that you saw on screen dead were black. I was like, wait, this is very weird. Or the violence that like you'd see like portray. Obviously, when a black man quote unquote dies, you get resurrected, or time will go back, or time, you know. But all the black, all the women were like dying, and I was just like, I was seeing this violence. I was like, it made me very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like it was like over the top. Like obviously that you haven't gone to like the end, so maybe there's some scenes that you might have not have seen. But like even like that episode 3, like the scenes of like the domestic violence with like, let's say like a Craig or whatever. It's like, or like those scenes just like, it's way too uncomfortable. Way too like it. That's the only thing for me that was like too much.
Especially when like, I guess you think about when people put like trigger warning, like sexual assault, rape, but like when people put those kind of scenes on TV, like sometimes it's best that they serve a purpose.
Yeah, it didn't push the story. Like a simple, again, like I feel like a lot of times when these kind of things are happening, they're just doing it for the shock factor. But it's like, why does it have to always be a black woman being that kind of like tool to get this kind of like feeling? It could have been a simple touching of someone, person says no, and then you express whatever conflict has, and it can end there. But it's like a lot of time they have to go so far, like to the end, to like, oh, this person's about to die, and then like, so you can feel it. It's like I just feel like it's such a cheap ploy. Like you can't keep using black women as the like the excuse to kind of show violence. I think it was just like very.
I guess part of me is like, do you think that it might have been like an oversight or just like a blind spot kind of thing, potentially? Because
on whose side? There were so many black women involved in the show.
True, this is very true.
I for me that was very weird. Like after like 3-4 women are dying in the show, I would have been like, okay, hold on a second, what's going on here? This is a bit strange, you know. And I don't think you've gotten to the point, but there's one scene where Taser does something to one of the girls.
Yeah, I can't like that.
I was kind of like,
that for me was like a whoa, this is a bit.
Because the thing is, like, I'm pretty sure we've all been around people who've been on road. They have a code. There's some things that they don't go past. Like, so it's like seeing even that for me. And I'm not going to be the person to kind of like defend roadmen, but even some of them have ethics. Some of the things these lot were doing,
even
I was like, what the hell?
gangs and cartels, they've got certain like no women, no children.
So it's like the things
Yeah.
I was seeing, I was kind of like, okay, I don't know what this is, but this is like
A bit dark.
some weird, I don't want to say fetish, but it's just weird.
I guess it's like, yeah, at the expense of, because for example, like that scene was like, some may take it as like Taser felt so like emotionally moved because his friend was in hospital, but it's like it comes at the expense of
yeah.
So,
And this is daylight. It's not even a like.
no, it was very like this is
When
pretty
you
much.
get there, you see exactly like
What
what we're
was
saying.
wrong.
Because I genuinely, I think that was my main qualm of the show.
Mm.
And like as the episodes went on, like I'll catch myself like overthinking about like, oh god, something bad is about to happen to this woman. I can just feel it. Like even with the grandmothers at some point, like it's just kind of like, okay, this is way too much. Like, come on. And it's like a lot of the black women in the show carry the show. So for me, it was just like, okay, this is not fair at all. That's my main qualm. Other than that, I think the show is great.
So, what are some of your like everyone's anyway positives? Like, because I feel like we've probably like spoken about it. It's quite about highlights.
I think like the positive of the show.
Yeah,
I do think it's a good superhero show.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think is entertaining. Like
Yeah,
every episode I watched so far, anyway, like you want to watch the next.
you
one. Like, I was so
I
upset
agree.
that I fell asleep. That's actually the reason why I couldn't
It's
finish
probably
it.
for the best, because I feel like when you finish episode 6, you're probably gonna be like, I need the rest.
Okay.
Oh really?
You don't think so?
Nah, I can't even lie.
Yeah, positive guys.
No, like I need.
No, I feel like I felt like okay.
Or like
I
you're happy
need
your
more
content.
information because, especially
Oh, like the people
like,
behind. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha,
because I
gotcha,
can't
gotcha.
like I made that. I was like, yeah, I don't trust this person.
Yeah,
They seem
yeah.
too
It's too good to be true.
good to be true.
Mm.
And I need to
Ben's
know,
like,
yeah, I need to know the link because why do you have this
Yeah,
this certain
yeah,
things?
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
But I think I know you're talking about though.
Yeah, I know you know, but it's
Is
like
it the white woman?
Yeah.
But anyway, I've already made that connection.
it's
Right,
obvious
yeah,
that
it's quite
those
clear.
kind of things pop out.
yeah,
but
it's
yeah.
spooky, but yeah, I think. Or I remember the first episode. It was the first 2 episodes I watched it with my friends, and
Mhm.
like we were just hooked.
Yeah.
And I think I loved how they used local areas and stuff like seeing my
Bro.
area in there, seeing your areas. In
That
there,
was
like,
cool.
nah,
Yeah.
like
It was sick, innit?
I didn't mind the
Like-
green screen either.
no, it was actually
Yeah,
you know
like
what?
It made me laugh.
Like-
But I was like, actually, no, it works.
It was actually
It wasn't
actually
that bad.
fine.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
actually
Like,
fine.
it
unless
was-
you're very like
like-
you know, but it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching like Sheila posted like a clip and she said, yeah, like they couldn't close off like Piccadilly Circus, so they
course
just
not,
had to
yeah.
like make the set. And
Makes
it
total
was,
sense.
It was good.
I mean,
Yeah.
to still make it look realistic
Yeah,
to some
yeah.
extent.
Like, did I
it's-
people? I was like, yes, but it was still really
Yeah.
good. I still, suspended my disbelief.
Yeah,
for the
I was
story and
gonna
stuff.
say actually that the relationship between Andre and his son was nice to see.
Yeah,
Like I was saying how like
That was such a confusing, what do you call it?
What?
Relationship.
Yeah.
Because I was like, are they brothers? Are they?
Yeah.
I was like,
but it kind of made me think, wow, is this kind of like how British born like
yeah,
kids
yeah.
will be like as parents?
oh, I see what you're saying.
Do you
Yeah,
know what
like
I
the
mean?
next
So
generation.
it kind of made me
like,
think like
fathers.
whenever a child goes willing one day is like
Oh.
how would how would we relate?
Yeah, I guess it
I
reminds
mean-
me of like Specs and his daughter,
Yeah,
like that kind of dynamic.
Yeah. That's
Seeing,
a
like,
funny dynamic.
millennials
That's a
and their
weird-
Gen Z
yeah,
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like we are almost very close to each other.
Mm.
I feel like with our parents, sometimes there is a gap
Yeah.
because of like, I don't know. I think
I
things for them were very different.
Also, I think it mainly
Culturally
happens to
too.
parents who are like of the diaspora and stuff.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if they're very British, like I've seen a lot of people who are like very more
Yeah.
like
Yeah, so
British,
we've
and their
not-
family
Me
are like,
personally, I've not experienced that yet.
no, have I to be fair. Yeah,
so
yeah.
it will be me that will start that new
Yeah,
trend kind
yeah,
of thing.
yeah,
but it's
yeah.
like, even will my parents rate how I parent, or do you know what I mean? It's just all these different things. I think we saw that video. Do you remember that video you showed me before we started recording?
Oh yeah, about
Yeah.
the auntie that was basically telling like other aunties and uncles like
To be, yeah.
if your children are moving out, maybe it's because you've done this and that and that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like just having to relate, I think it's just nice because even when I see on Instagram, like when I see like black fathers and their children, it makes me happy because it's like, rah, like this is actually something that we all want to aspire to do, or like if it's been an uncle, whether I don't know, it's just
Yeah.
being there for the youths. Like it's good to see, man. It's
Yeah,
nice to see.
yeah.
So that was a nice little narrative to see as well during that.
Shout out to Daphne's, man. I saw like the Caribbean shop. I normally get like my
Oh,
Caribbean
yeah.
food from. I was like,
Crazy.
Oh, is it?
Wow, crazy.
Crazy.
Literally, High Street. as in
So
when I'm
basically, I'll
yeah
say
my
house.
area, like
That's mad.
2 different areas. I was like, wow, this is literally local,
Mm.
and I'm so surprised I didn't see or hear anything. Like
I feel like they
Mm.
must have done it because even in my
But this
area,
might have been years ago. They probably started
True.
filming.
yeah,
so
because
true.
in my area that Onyx club, that's not around. That no more.
Oh, it's different now.
Completely different.
Yeah.
But I remember it was like that before.
Okay,
Mm.
But I
so
didn't
probably
know
like
what
COVID
it was.
times then, or if not, maybe like.
But it might have been.
After
It was a
COVID.
while where it was like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
To be fair, even the club that Michael's friend owns.
Isn't
I
that
feel
Onyx?
Oh,
Yeah, that is Onyx.
Onyx. No, there was. I thought that there
The
was
one that he
scenes-
owns is meant to be Onyx.
Yeah,
got you.
but that was the club literally in my area.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think one thing that I enjoyed as well, or one thing I realized is that like the UK is really hungry for content like this. I can't even lie.
We're
Starving.
dying for it, man.
Like, and I think one thing I will be excited to see is based off the success of this, will companies be more comfortable to put risks in play?
Is it the fear that they feel like it's only us that's gonna watch it?
They think it's gonna flop. Yeah.
They think they're probably thinking, oh, the population of black people in the UK is like 3%.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
do we really need to do this? Who's gonna watch this?
Like they genuinely feel like no one's gonna watch the show.
But it's a
Yeah.
good storyline.
but also like,
Isn't that what we watch most things for?
no, but like
They
that's,
don't- it's not
that's
enough.
not nowadays.
It's not
It's
enough for them.
That's sad. Man.
yeah, like because this reminds me of a comment that I think the CEO of maybe Pixar might have made, because like films like Turning Red and
Oh yeah, they didn't do too well.
Luca didn't perform well in the box office, but it was also during the time of COVID.
Mhm.
So they basically like said, oh, we're gonna focus on more general stories that can connect more with wider audiences. Luca was based, I think, like in Italy or like
Yeah.
Italian
There's a
white
place
culture.
called look at in Italy.
Turning Red was, I think, an Asian,
I wonder- I-
based on an
yeah.
Asian girl,
Yeah.
kind of going through like puberty and
Mhm.
stuff. So people really resonate with these shows, even Soul as well, because that didn't make that much in the box
Soul
office,
was
but
good.
it was literally in the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So that kind of links with like all these other shows that are being cancelled, like HBO. There's like rap shit that got cancelled.
Mhm.
Legendary, which was more of like a queer show, but that was like apparently their first scripted show
Okay.
or first like show on HBO Max. Their like streaming
Right,
platform, I
right.
think. Because I was watching an interview with Laura Roach. I think he said that. Yeah, and that got cancelled. So like certain things that like focus more on like people from the global majority or from like other marginalized backgrounds, they're always the first things to get cut when it comes to like, you know, wanting to, you know, keep your funds and stuff.
Very,
But then
very sad.
also people see it as a risk again. So like it's mad because obviously like Netflix, the way they make money, subscribers. So like I feel like they can afford to take more risks compared to like our TV channels, like a Channel 4 or BBC, where they make their monies in other ways and it's like audience retention and all of these things.
Yeah.
They may not be able to afford that. But at the same time, it's like if it's a risk, like for the story, like you said, I feel like they should, but I also feel like it's a responsibility of a lot of these companies to like whet the audience's appetite for these kind of things as well. Because the same way that Netflix has affected our appetite for content and music, I feel like when it comes to, I don't know, like companies wanting to do something for profit, they will do all that they can in order to ensure that people will like buy the thing.
Going above you with
Exactly.
advertising, so on and so
And
forth.
we know that there's various like systematic like things in place or like biases as well as like racially, all of these things that kind of affect the way that people see things. Or like when you look at like Harry Potter or like The Little Mermaid is a great example. Like people are vexed because we don't have our ginger redhead representation.
That though.
Fair, but it's like this is a fictional character, it's a mermaid.
Of
like
course,
let's be guided. It's a mermaid.
But you that one is a justifiable.
I hear it, but there's Brave on Disney. There's other representations that are there, but what I guess I'm trying to say is, because I feel like I'm just going around in circles, but like if organizations, I feel like if they wanted to, they could be part of that change so that like other people can see themselves in certain characters. I feel like us as minorities in the West, we can still resonate with characters that don't look like us. Whereas,
all the time, which is
all the time.
So
Really?
Yes.
yeah,
Who would you relate to?
it's not even relate to you, but if you're watching
don't
like a what British like UK drama that is just like a standard
in
one.
between us.
And
I
it's
think
not
much-
even
I
like,
think much in between
oh,
us.
they're exactly like me, but like there's certain qualities that you'd be like,
It's
oh,
the
yeah,
qualities. It's not.
this.
It's
Yeah,
not
but that's
like.
a
oh,
human, human like
But-
relatability. Yeah.
Respectfully, I
Like,
feel
you
like
can find that in the same Supercell if you're watching it from another demographic.
I would like to.
It's
I
very
would.
specific with the whole sickle cell thing.
No, I'm
No, but
talking
there's
about,
other qualities like
qualities. Yeah.
I can't remember the nurse's name. Sabrina,
Mhm.
like very caring, very
Yeah.
attentive.
Yeah.
Like the fact that she would always check, like she might like hurt someone, but she'd
Yeah.
always like check like, oh, that person okay?
Or
kind
like
of
even
thing.
the resonating with like I think her sister was talking about her like getting a promotion. Was it a promotion?
promotion.
Yeah,
Like even those stories that these are things that people can relate to. It's not like it's like there's something.
I hate that I have to be the contrarian. in this.
No, but I feel like there's some things that like when you watch certain shows, some things you can just resonate with. Like even I'm watching like The Mole, for example. Funny enough, I relate with the black guy.
You
the
relate
most.
with a mole?
No, not the mole, not the mole.
Okay.
There's a show, but basically it's like do you know the mole? Do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know the concept of the mole?
Not really.
It's like the trade. It's like trade.
oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
basically, you've got to win money,
Mm,
and there's one mole that's basically trying to sabotage your whole
got
thing.
you. Got you.
But like even the way the guy talks and like
Mm.
he said, "Are you guys mad?" Like the way he talks is like it makes you laugh. It's like I'll probably respond in the same way, innit?
Okay.
But
Okay.
it's also the way people respond is that I'll probably would respond that way as well. Like what you doing, kind of thing. And I
Mm.
think we're human at the end of the day.
Yeah, but
Human emotions are gonna be is universal.
and I think
I agree.
that should be the main focus when I guess like thinking about, oh, is this going to resonate with people?
Yeah.
Like the most important thing should be like, we're all human beings who go through similar things.
Mhm.
We should be able to connect with that. And I feel like for audiences, especially white audiences, if I'm being very frank, I feel like they need to learn how to do that because everybody else
Because we've had to learn how to
has
do that.
learned how to do that.
By
And
force.
And when it comes to like shows being watched and all these kind of things,
Yeah.
respectfully, it kind of hangs in the fray of like they're
their
the
hand, basically.
determining factor of a lot of these things. If they don't engage with it, because the powers that be will be like, oh no, it needs to get X amount of streams and viewers and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. We can only do so much. Like everybody else kind of needs to get on board and do it and help.
So,
to-
I've got a question
Mm,
based on this,
mhm,
especially with I'll use a parallel. You see with hip hop, right?
mhm,
Most of the audience that takes in hip hop is white,
Mhm.
and hip hop in the beginning, even kind of till now, the reason why people gravitate to hip hop is because of how authentic these stories are.
mm,
You don't have to relate to them in
Mhm.
any way at all. Most of it, a lot of people don't even relate to.
Mhm.
So my thing is, I feel like people need to stop trying to relate to stories. A good story can be a good story.
Yep.
A lot of people watch shows about murderers and stuff, and they don't sit down and say,
Yeah.
"Oh wow, he's just like
That's-
me."
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah,
why?
prison break, for example.
Yeah. So it's like, why is it that we always use that whole? Well, we're human,
You
so
know
why
what?
can't they just take our stories in?
a bit of both. Like, because I actually hear what you say.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if I think about certain artists I listen to, I do not relate to like a lot of things, but I can appreciate your artistry. But
Yeah.
not everybody's like that.
But you can relate to the
But-
authenticity though.
So this is what I'm saying, that even the authentic,
Some
no, you don't even
extent,
have to relate to anything. Even
Yeah.
if no authenticity, nothing. I listen to Coldplay. I don't relate to anything they
Mm.
say, right? But the thing is, I just feel like people need to. Art is art. I don't think art has to be self-serving in the sense that
Yes.
you don't have to take it in and be
You
like,
can appreciate
well,
even if you have
I
no
think-
relation to
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Mm.
We have to remove ourselves.
yeah, it doesn't have
But
to be
then
like if it's nothing to do with me, I can't
that's
watch
us as creatives in terms of that we appreciate those things. There's someone out there, there's many people out there
it. True.
that they
true.
just need to watch TV. They've got their
to
TV.
what to see themselves. Basically.
No. They've got their afternoon tea. They need something simple that will just entertain them. They don't want to be thinking about, oh, what's that African stuff there? What's
No,
that?
but they don't.
No,
No, I don't think
they
they
don't. They
have
don't
to do
need
that.
to. But again,
Um,
I think it speaks.
I'm
To
talking
their,
about-
it speaks to their own biases. Though.
Yeah, but I'm saying there's people, and there's a lot of people in this world because like this is so off the page, but like,
Mm.
do you remember Brexit, for example?
Mm.
Do I remember Brexit?
We thought in London and in like
Yeah.
areas that are very diverse,
London
we
stand.
assumed that there is no way
Mm.
they're gonna vote Brexit.
Oh, I knew.
Lo and behold, no.
Oh, I knew.
Oh, yeah,
Brexit.
below and
yeah.
below.
Yeah.
Because me personally, I was like, ah, yeah, come on, man.
Echo chambers, man.
I think it's a London thing. I'll be very honest with you.
It is a London
Because
thing.
like when you live outside London, you kind of see life
But
getting
then-
clearer. Because
Look at
you realize, like, hold on,
Somebody.
you lot are living.
look at what
in a-
Netflix are commissioned.
fairy
It's
tale.
all London based.
No,
What?
a lot of shows are in London.
No,
babe.
the black
Oh.
British ones.
What's the name of the show that recently came out? Baby Reindeer. Like
No, black ones. Though.
you're talking about the black.
Black,
you're talking about
black ones.
No, okay, look,
Yeah.
that one. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I agree.
They
But
definitely need to like.
It's not any.
To be fair, Domino Day, but this is BBC,
yeah,
based outside of London,
Mm.
and like, quite a few of the characters that are like from the global majority aren't from London, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is important.
because I think
Yeah.
that one, I fair enough. But I don't think there's a lot of representation outside of London when it comes to the black populace.
Agreed.
So that one, it's not even a. It's like going to America and saying, "Oh, let's go and film something in like a specific small state in like somewhere, I don't know, or was there that place that there's barely any black people in? There's always this state that there's not a lot of black people in. I can't remember what it's called.
In the UK or
No, in America.
America.
There's a few states that when you go, there's like very low percentage of black people.
Oh, okay.
So basically, like the lower the percentage.
Sundown? No.
No,
that's-
no, the sundown towns. No. But
Definitely not there.
no. But yeah, definitely not. There. But there's some places like what I'm saying is it's very easy to get a New York story, an LA story, a Chicago story, because there's a bigger percentage of black people there, and therefore you can have more representation. So in the UK, it's kind of the similar thing where
Kind of makes sense though.
You know what I'm
You're
saying?
less likely to have films from those.
like
areas.
you're not gonna get something from, I don't know, like some small village in like Edinburgh or like somewhere, because maybe there might not be a big representation of black people there specifically.
I feel like it all comes down to like relatability though. I feel like the reason why they choose these places because like, there's more of a chance that more people are gonna relate to this story, so let's just
so the London thing. But that's what I'm saying, that's not true. That is not true. But I believe that you don't have to relate to a story in order to watch it.
That's you.
No, but this is what I'm saying. Like, okay, we're creatives.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
I feel like all of us.
But I'm saying as creatives and the and the space that we live in, our job as people who create things is to expand people's palettes.
Yes.
Because they don't understand the things that we may be interested in or we do.
Yeah.
So we need to explain to them what it is that we do. That's literally all we can do. That's our job. So it's like, if there is people who can't take in stories, it's our job to make sure that they understand, or they at least be interested and curious enough to say, okay, let me invest in 2 episodes or 3 episodes and see what happens. Like, I wasn't sitting here thinking, I'm gonna watch Game of Thrones thinking I'd care about some fictional George R.R. Martin story. But when you start to watch it, you're like, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of if I relate to weird stories, you think I'm sitting here thinking, I relate to incest. No. But I'm watching a story thinking like, this is an interesting story. Do you get what I'm saying? So I don't think that you have to relate to everything that's on screen.
You don't have to.
Yeah, it just has to be a great story. I think you can have that without it.
Enough though, because
it's a mix of both. It's a mix of both.
It is a mix of both, but because let's be real, there are many great stories. There's a lot of good art out there, a lot of great music out there that does not get the time of day, does not get considered because of like variety of different reasons. So like, yes, the story is important, but especially when someone's money is behind this and funding the thing. Like,
okay, that's fair. The money,
that's why I will put the onus on these companies to do more in order for more people to like engage with the story. But I also put the onus on the audience as well. And I feel the same way for like streaming as well, and like the whole ethical consumption of things, because things are just literally handed to us on a platter. And we have so much choice. We don't have to think about like what goes into these things that are being made. Music. A lot of money goes into people's like albums and songs. Like, my God. But you're thinking, I pay like $5.99 if I'm on like a family. No, £3 for like a family plan. Yeah. £5 if I'm a student.
Someone drop an album, they were asking you, when is the next album? Tomorrow.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So like just stuff like that. And like, because there's so much demand out there. Oh, it's been 6 months. Like, we need, like you said, we need more stuff. But it's like, no, albums are supposed to last like a very long time, if not like forever, if they're really good. So it's just like, because we're so used to and like no one has to buy one album now. It's like, okay, the price of an album is literally
everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
So I think across the board, like we also as an audience need to just do a better job of considering and like putting the time in, or just like changing our mindset and asking, okay, why do we like the things that we like, or why are we gonna like discredit this thing when it could actually be like a really good show? Like Derry Girls was about 3 Irish babes.
He thinks you like
or
it.
4 Irish. No, I only watched one episode. I will watch it, but I was like, I've heard about this show. But initially I was like, I don't know. But it's like, why don't I want to watch Derry Girls? And I was like, I don't really know.
You know why?
Like, Irish, Like nothing wrong.
Oh,
Don't
wait,
forget,
wait.
I love the Irish
Yeah.
family who are from Ireland. So shout out to you guys.
Shout out to the family.
You know,
of
like
Michael.
the Ayo Adebris of the
Oh
family.
yeah.
But yeah, like maybe because initially I was like, oh, I don't know if this would relate, but then I had to like ask myself like, oh, but that shouldn't really matter or anything. It could actually be really funny, and because I like can't remember her name, but she plays Penelope in Bridgerton.
I haven't watched Bridges. I've watched like 2 episodes.
But in season, but
I think
one
I
of
know
the
what
main
you're talking about.
characters,
Yeah.
she's in it. I was like, I like her. I'd actually give her a watch kind of thing. So I think sometimes just like opening our minds to new things that could be pretty good.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's interesting though, because I feel like even though it's down to us as an audience to do it, we're a very niche part of the audience.
No, but I'm not even just talking about
Not even us. Yeah, I think he's talking about
the
the
majority.
audience as a whole.
White people.
They,
like
I'll be
white
honest. Okay, I'm not generalizing.
people.
Yeah,
I am.
but some of these man don't even care about the taste of some shows, bro.
They do. They do.
Some
No comment.
Of course, there's gonna be some.
There's
that
certain kind of people I'm thinking of right now, yeah, that like
But look, I want to be a bit optimistic about the
You
people
don't
in
want to
this
be
world.
contrarian anymore.
I think
I wasn't doing it even on purpose. That's the painful part.
I think it's down to the companies at the end of the day. I think the companies should be the ones that provide us with these responsible options.
Yeah, but the thing is, look, they've done it. In some instances, these things flop.
Can I ask
That's
a
where
question,
that's where they're basing their information off. Like they might not make more shows that are like this because the first time they did it, it didn't work.
But you have to ask yourself why. And I don't think enough people do that. Like, oh, why did let's say rap shit, for example, why did that not get that many views? But it's like, okay, this is a story about 2 young women based in Miami who want to be rappers.
That
like,
should have worked. I can't remember.
it was a very good show.
It was a very good show.
I've never heard about it in my life.
The acting was a bit shady. Like
See?
the bit,
I
sorry,
didn't even know it even existed. I'll be
See?
honest
yeah,
with
but I don't think it's your you're not going like I feel like there's some shows that you wouldn't go out
my
to
way.
look- yeah, you wouldn't go out your way to
Fair.
try to find.
But
you.
even,
But I should be able to at least see
like,
that it's available.
this
as
is a
option.
show coming from Issa Rae.
Game of Thrones,
And
for
to be fair,
example.
they-
I didn't even watch that,
Mm.
but somehow I knew that the House of Dragon thing was coming out.
but you don't watch
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah,
it's
but
not working.
I had
But
awareness
it
of
is-
it, though.
Just in terms,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
to
I
be
see what
fair,
you're
I'm sure HBO did do a lot of marketing around. Like,
It was mainly based
Yeah.
in America as well, so there is
True.
that. We don't have HBO here.
yeah. But I just feel like there's questions that should be asked. Like when going back to the whole like, is it Pixar or Disney thing of like, oh, Turning Red? They were like, not sure. But then Inside Out performed very well, but they're very much keen on like
Inside Out 2 apparently performed
not a billion.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Wow.
Bear in mind, the first film I think did like 700.
Wow.
So like it's more or less similar stories. Obviously, that kind of explores more emotions. Turning Red is more about like puberty itself and like
Yeah,
what this girl's going
specifically, yeah.
through. But the stories can still connect with other people and are still good stories.
Mhm.
But what they deduced from that was like, oh, these diverse stories, we don't know if it's gonna.
But you feel like it's not like an excuse
Yeah,
to say,
so
well,
like,
it
dial
didn't
back
work.
and just be like, let's just focus.
Yeah,
more on
because there's a lot of
general-
movies that don't work, but they never blame the diversity of the because there isn't a diverse
basically
audience in the first
Yeah,
place.
but it's like people.
Yeah.
It's funny how the powers that be can like cower to the audience in certain instances, but then in other ways they will exercise their power over the same audience when they want to make certain decisions.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So
Yeah.
it's just-
This is a question. If Netflix, or Spotify, Apple Music, whatever they are, were to increase their prices by £10, £15,
No,
so what would you do?
I mean,
Because we're saying that we have to pay more,
I mean,
and they say we're going to
No.
increase our prices to basically accommodate for this.
no.
Why no?
Because if that's the case, then I'd rather like this is the thing. If I'm paying for a service and
Yeah.
you're trying to justify the service by saying, oh, in order to make something specifically for your audience or something that you will enjoy, then that's them acknowledging that there's a lot of things on the thingy that we probably won't enjoy.
Mhm.
And I'm paying for that as well. So why am I
Mm.
what they could do is they could cut out the mediocre, they would cut out the bad, and then accommodate for better things.
So if the quality of all the shows went up and it was that good, you would pay it.
If the quality of the shows were that good, they wouldn't need to put all the fluff on there.
Facts.
It's not. That's why they have fluff on there.
Mm.
So it's like
And maybe
if they cut out all the fluff, they would still break even,
Mhm.
but they don't want to take the risk because it's too much risk. Because if they do a show and they spend maybe 100 million on it and they don't get that money back, for them it's easier to go and do an ultimatum and get that money so quickly because everyone's going to be binge watching that. And everyone's going to be stuck on that. So I do feel like it's obviously they have to have some kind of balance, but there isn't a lot of balance. Like they have more shows like Ultimatum than they do have good shows.
I think Ultimatum's funny though.
No, it is. I agree.
It is.
But
Like,
I'm saying,
these are shows that we all watch.
We all watch.
Yeah.
But there isn't a balance, and that's the issue.
But do you think what are the fluffy shows you need to cut out? Because I don't think
There's a lot
Ultimatum is one of them.
No.
There's
But
a lot of terrible
there's
TV
there's
shows,
a lot of terrible
films
TV shows on there.
that we don't need.
Examples?
But I get,
I'd rather not mention it.
but like, I get again because it all comes back to demand. But this might even sound very like these companies would never do this. But sometimes tell us what we've given you is what we've given you, and you have to manage it for the month. Like, Mubi do a interesting job of like they'll give you a set amount of films that you'll watch like every month, and that's all you have.
So if Netflix was to do this thing where they'll be like, okay, the Ultimatum,
But it has to be
South
good.
Africa is going to come out and it's only going to be available for this month or for the next 2 months. Once it's gone, it's gone. Do you think that's a better model?
No,
Not
for them.
definitely not for them.
What about for us?
I mean,
Because low-key for them, it could be because
what you don't have, you can't miss. So if the show goes and it's gone, it's like, okay, cool.
It kind of goes back to that old school TV model. Where,
Yeah, exactly.
But I feel like they'll make more money. The reason why I say that is that
I think they'll lose so
you know
much.
how we talk about this periodic thing where people will subscribe here and there.
Mhm.
If they know the Ultimatum's on and they're big watchers of it, they would subscribe for 2 months and then dip.
But people don't
then-
watch Netflix just for entertainment. Some people just put it on.
It's TV now.
Yeah.
And
I
the
feel like-
background.
Yeah, they use it as
Yeah.
background.
I
like,
use
you know.
YouTube as my background to be
But,
fair.
Yeah.
but I think
That's what I pay for.
that's why there's so much like Netflix. Out of all the streamers, I feel like Netflix is like the most like TV today.
Yeah.
Apple TV Plus, I feel like you go to when you really want to like
You
That's
need to
quality.
lock in.
Get
Yeah, you need to
get
lock
Yeah,
in
you
into
can't put that
a
on the
really-
background, man.
into a
I hate
really
watching
good
that in the
show.
background, yeah.
HBO, I'd probably say a similar thing. Like at a set time every week, you know, you're gonna get like a really sick something.
It's like TV.
Yeah,
To some, yeah. So
It's a new way of TV.
yeah, but like even with TV, there's some channels that you can turn on and just chuck in the background. Some channels you turn on and you can't just chuck in the background. You know, like if I don't know if you're watching like a channel 4 and you know maybe let's say what was the show that used to come on like is it Hollyoaks? Am I bugging? Is that channel 4 right?
Hollyoaks, yeah.
If like you know Hollyoaks is coming on at like 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. or whatever every day after school, you're gonna be focused. You're gonna be locked in. You don't want to miss out. You might have it with your dinner.
That's a Tracy Beaker, blood.
Even Love Island, for example, it's a good example. Like people lock in for Love Island.
You know what's so funny? I've been watching it, but I've not been watching the show. I've actually been watching it based from social media.
Oh really? Okay, fair
So
enough.
like I saw this clip, this is such a tangent. I saw this clip of is it Ayo?
Yeah.
And some new babe coming
Yeah,
and he's like, you know what, you're actually my
yeah. Like
that's crazy.
Is that what he said?
Yeah. Or you're not watching it?
No. I watched the first episode and I
Okay.
just kind of
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
he's
He's interesting, man. Anyway.
he's your ambassador. That's you guys' problem.
Shout out to all my Yoruba.
Yeah,
my
man.
brothers, my
I thought you
Yoruba
were about to say
brothers.
Yoruba demons for him. I was like,
Hey.
shout out to y'all.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in to today's episode of Rule of Thirds. Feel free to share your thoughts with us using the hashtag RuleOfThirdspod. And for more from us, follow us on Instagram at RuleOfThirdspod, or our personal accounts for myself, Burns JNR,
Mike at _ man like Mike.
And Jude at Kente Kwame.
Catch you guys in the next one.